So at time of recording, I have now finished the first three episodes of season 5 of The Boys. And I'm going to give my thoughts. This is a spoiler review, so if you want to see season 5 of The Boys, click off now and come back later. This is your only spoiler warning. So here we go. This is the final season of The Boys. So far, if you saw my last two videos, me ranting about The Boys, you know very much well that I cannot stand this show. I don't like it. I liked season one. Season one had a good premise, and I liked uh, the the characters and the world that was presented in season one, and then it just went off the rails after that. And season four uh, proves uh, that basically this show is no longer for entertainment purposes. It is for pandering. It is to hit you over the head with identity politics. I hated season four. I watched it to completion, and I can thoroughly tell you, yeah, this show's political, and it's not a good thing. It's actually fucking annoying. Um, but watching season five, they tone it down. They tone down the politics in season five, and it's still there. The allegory's still there. We still have, Homelander as Trump, and superheroes are white supremacy, and um, we have Vought and superhero ICE, detaining people and putting them in concentration camps or internment camps or whatever. And so when you get over the allegory, when you get over the politics, there's still stuff to be invested in. I see why people like the show, in terms of like with the concept of going after Homelander, and there's obviously characters with goals that are able to try and achieve them, and uh, people will invest in characters if they have goals. And the goal is to take out Homelander. The goal is to save the world and end Soups. But then we have these questions about these characters dealing with the morality of that. They've been doing that this entire series, and I've said before, I've gotten kind of sick of it because a lot of it is will they, won't they, can they, can't they bullshit, right? And there's still a lot of that. There's still a lot of that, and I'm just kind of over the nihilistic, pessimistic point of view that this show has. Um, I'm just over it, and I think a lot of other people are too. But nonetheless, I can't say that this show is or season five is worse than season four. It's actually a step up when you factor in things like, okay, the first episode we saw A Train come full circle whenever there was an attack on the internment camp. Homelander was coming there to bait Butcher out, and Butcher was trying to save Frenchie, Huey, and Mother's Milk. And there's a moment where Homelander has Huey by the throat and is about to laser him with his eyes. And A Train shows up, and A Train's had a face turn, so A Train has had a redemption arc, saving his family and all that stuff, trying to protect him from Vought. A Train shows up and he moves Huey out of the way with his super speed, coming full circle on when we first meet A Train, which is when he basically runs over Huey's girlfriend and turns her to freaking puddles of blood. And so I thought that was good. I thought that was good. I thought that was a nice little full circle moment. That's some good writing before Homelander ends up killing A Train. I thought that was well written. I thought that was a part that's the good shit I like about the show. If there's anything to like about it at all, that's something I want more of. Not the corporate double speak of everything's a fucking fascist and everything's white supremacy, and it's an allegory for this and this. Once you get over the allegory stuff, there's still stuff to like, and I get why people like the show. Me personally, I said it. I'm over the nihilistic shit that this show is, but at the same time, I can acknowledge things that I can pluck from it. Right, like for example, Rock Hard. When in the second episode, when they have Rock Hard, it's basically the Thing, but he's gotten so fat that he's turned into like a mini mountain, and somehow he's jerking off and lava comes out, and he's watching mountain porn, which is just a bunch of volcanoes erupting. I thought that was funny. They have this virus to try and take out the soups. It doesn't work on Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy comes back, and he survives because oh no, it's actually V1. We got to search for V1 now because the virus is irrelevant. So shout out to all the people who watch Gen V. You watched 16 hours of nonsense crap to get the virus that they just threw away in episode 3. Congrats! I didn't watch Gen V. I wasn't gonna watch that stupid shit. So I'm good. But shout out to the people who did, because that's just wasted your time. But characters there's not a lot of likable characters anymore. Like Homelander is the most relatable character. He's gone through a full arc, and they still want me to hate Homelander. Sorry, I don't hate Homelander. I can't. It's impossible at this point. Not because I'm empathetic to monsters or that I fantasize about what Homelander likes or whatever. Not even the case at all. It's just that Homelander is a more complex character than everybody else in the show. Mother's Milk is just a dude that's trying to hold his shit together. Huey's a beta male, and he's never really changed. He's well, I can't say that to be true. He has evolved from where he has been in season 1, but he's still this scared, jumpy little kid. Starlight has so much plastic in her face, it's hard to understand her when she's talking. But once again, she's a girl boss. Kimiko started talking, and now she's a girl boss, and all she does is talk about porn. I kind of liked her better when she was deaf or mute or whatever. Frenchie. Now I'm gonna make a video about Frenchie real soon because I thought that shit was fucking funny. The actor behind Frenchie, Tomer Capone, I believe is his name is. He's got some interesting history. I guess that's why they cast him, is because he's a literal war criminal in real life. But all he is a disgusting French mouthpiece for Eric Kripke and the writers to be like, ooh, the Cybertrucks are the entourage of trucks before he rapes somebody or something, because he's French. And so Butcher, God bless him. I love Carl Urban. I really do love Carl Urban. I think he's great. But Butcher's a fucking nothing burger in this show, bro. Butcher, all he does is lie to people and then go back around and try and get he's like, I know you don't trust me, love. I know you don't trust me, cunt. And it's Kimiko might have been on point when she said, all he says is oi oi oi, cunt cunt cunt. It's yeah, that's his whole character now. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's gone, so there's no more complexity around Jeffrey Dean Morgan being there as his little talking devil over his shoulder. And Butcher's just a hateful, spiteful person, reflecting Garth Ennis, the author of the comic books. It's just I don't want to root for Butcher. I can't root for Butcher. I don't want to see him succeed because he's an asshole. Everybody in this show is an asshole. It's so long story short, there's concepts that I like about this show. There's things I like: the world building, the pacing, the idea of taking down superheroes in this sort of fantasy. I get it, the power fantasy of an anti-fascist. I can kind of relate to it. I get it, but there's a long stretch between allegory and what's what you can actually do. That's why I still think the comics are better, is because the power fantasy is actually enacted a little bit differently in the comic books. In the show, it's just allegory, allegory, allegory. Everything has to be a reflection of real life, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. And I'm sure I'll make more videos about the allegory because that's mostly what the show is. But in terms of the characters, and I've said before about the complexity of the characters, Butcher and his crew are the least complex characters in the show because all they do is do runarounds. All they do is try and kill people and get revenge on superheroes. There's not a lot. They do these self-reflections, but it's circular. It's, are we the good guys for doing this? Can we really do this? I just want to go off and retire. And, and it's they've been repetitive at this point. There's no new ground that they've treaded. They've been doing the same shit for the last 5 seasons. And when you have characters like Homelander, the dude has had a different arc because of, okay, for example, season 1, he's this like corporate hero. He's a bully, and then season 2, he gets this empowerment from Starlight, and then Starlight dies. In season 3, he's insecure, but then Soldier Boy shows up, and now Soldier Boy is giving him a different outlook. He's trying to be a father. Then season 4, no more Soldier Boy, no more Stormfront. He's trying to be a father to Ryan, but now he's struggling with how to control Vought as the leader, and then he has what's her name, Sister Sage, at his back. Who, by the way, Sister Sage, smartest person on earth, who's a dumbass. You know, all she needs is one lobotomy, and then she's eating cake out of some dude's asshole. So smartest person that's dumb, and basically season 5 is Homelander, reconciling with, okay, now I'm a leader. Now I have to be a father. I am owning up to who I am, and I'm going to be this fascist dictator. It's like, that is an incredible story, how we go from corporate big shot, like face of a corporation bully, to a fascist dictator. Say what you want about Donald Trump and the allegories there. I'm not going to go into that in this video. But the character development of Homelander from that is very interesting. Not saying that I agree with it. Not saying that I'm a sympathizer for Homelander or some shit. But that's just an interesting arc for a villain. That's how you write a character. These people are better at writing villains than they are heroes. That's why there's no fucking heroes in this show. As simple as that. And I can't root for anybody other than Homelander. I just want Homelander to wipe everybody out now, because I sympathize with him the most in terms of, like, the emotional complexity of the character. And God, who am I leaving out? Black Noir. I'm sure they're going to do the pull the rug out from under us and say that Black Noir was a Homelander copy underneath, and they'll go back to the comics for that instead of owning up to what they did, which was race swap him and completely change his character. The Deep is like this toxic nothing. Like, he's a toxic caricature of like your Andrew Tate, but he's Aquaman. it's so dumb. I don't get it. Episode 3 had like translucent son who found out that Huey killed his dad, and then he dies. They could have done more with that, but they didn't. And there's a lot of talk going around about Homelander beating up Ryan, and the comparisons to Invincible. Invincible did it better, and I wouldn't go as far as to say that scene was super disturbing, but at the same time, I'm like, Ryan went in there expecting to fight Homelander. Homelander whips his ass and leaves him bleeding on the ground. It's not that shocking to me. This show tries to shock me. This show tries to be shock factor, and tries to be it's trying to push the ground of what I'm able to do. Congratulations, you desensitized me with season 4, because all that shit was allegory that made me angry, and shock factors that made me grossed out. So congratulations, I hate the show now, and anything you try to do from here on, it just doesn't faze me. So try a little harder, make a better story. Like I said, there's good stuff in here. It's few and far between. It's like finding a needle in a shit stack. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's the first 3 episodes of The Boys, and I'll be making more videos about it very soon. But until then, I've been Isaac of the Dead. Check out my new song, Cookie Dough. And I got a music video coming out. So, don't smoke crack.